Hello friends, and welcome to our new Q&A series where the goal here is to condense all the main questions and topics that we advise our customers, the jewelry designer, and list the most common questions they ask us. In this 3-part series, I want to help you guys get as much knowledge as possible, so hopefully after watching the series you'll gain a lot of insight, and hopefully that's all that you need to know if you were to work with a jewelry manufacturer, whether that's local or abroad. I am a jewelry manufacturer. My family business is Thai Design Distributors Limited, and I've been working directly with jewelry brands, retailers and jewelry wholesalers for 21 years. And this YouTube channel was created about 5 years ago so that I could share my experience and knowledge directly to anyone out there who is either wanting to be a jewelry designer or are an established designer or brand. My crafting facility is in Thailand and our headquarters in the UK. And after working with our customers who are all in either Europe, Northern America and Australia, I thought it would be good to just carefully put together all the questions and answers within these 3-part videos. So because there's so many question and answers that I'd love to share with you, and we're going to condense it into a series. The first part series, we're going to talk about sample development, which is super important, and we'll just divide this into 2 parts. So stay tuned. After this video, there will be a second part where we'll continue to talk about all that you need to know for the sample development process. So this is great if you're really new to the jewelry industry and you're not too sure about how the first sample development works. Any money or deposits that a manufacturer might ask you as well, questions about the NDA being signed. I'll go through all of that and also make some comparisons of what other suppliers may request, so that you have this as a reference frame if you were to reach out to other manufacturers. So yes, let's start. I really wanted this first part series to be focused on the development of the samples, because when new designer brands reach out to us, they really want to understand this process and what the costs involved, how much samples will be, etc. So the first thing is what I mean by development process. So this is the production of making the sample of that jewelry design. Do we need samples made, or can we go straight into the production order? So FYI guys, our minimum order is 20 per design in sterling silver or 10 in solid gold. Now we can of course go straight into a large production order without making samples first, but I'm sure a lot of suppliers would love to do that, but how do you know what you're going to get unless a sample is first produced? For us as a team, we definitely want to make a sample made, but other manufacturers may have a different policy. They may need a commitment of several samples, for example, first, and or production orders. So you definitely want to ask about this when you make that first initial inquiry. Next question. Why is making a sample so important? So at Thai Design Distributors, I encourage that a sample of each design is produced for a number of important reasons. The first is that you should see and feel the jewelry sample to approve the design, not the supplier, before placing the production order, especially if, after all, it is your design. 2 is that once you receive the sample, you can use it for any marketing or launching purposes, so photography, etc., whilst you're waiting for the stock order. For us, we expect that the customer will place the stock order because the sample is exactly what we expect it to look like. The design, the price-wise, etc. has all been agreed. And then the production order at my crafting facility can take anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks. The third and most crucial reason for why we want to make a sample first is that my team needs to understand how to make it. Keep a strict record of the entire sampling process, from the sprue location on the waxed piece, the casting details that need to be recorded, the specific tools that the silversmith may need to use for making it. There are production specifications basically that the team needs to follow. We want to make sure that the production order is going to be smooth and as fast as possible, so that we're not wasting any unnecessary time or resources. Therefore, my advice is to always make sure that you have a sample made and sent to you for checking before you approve it. Next question. What do you, the jewelry designer, need to provide us in order to get a price, and whether we can partner together? So for anyone who has ever contacted us, you'll probably know that the first reply from my sales team is that we need to review your designs, whether that's in a physical or visual form. Right now, and how we've been working for decades, is that we can receive anything from physical jewelry pieces such as masters, molds, resins or samples, all the way through to just visual sketch concepts or CAD renders and STL files of the final designs. So for us, any of these are fine, for us to review. So please check with your supplier in terms of what formal reference they'd like to see your designs, as some of them may have different requirements. How do we or the supplier review the jewellery designs? For us at Thai Design, once we receive the designs, whether that's in the form of physical prototypes or visuals, my development and production team will sit down in our often daily development meetings, as we call it, to talk through the designs and just provide feedback on whether they fit within our capabilities and skills, or any concerns that we have to give back to the customer. It'll also be an opportunity for me to also understand more about the designer or customer in question, their background and story, as that's also, a really important element for me. And I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end of the video. Next question. If I send you sketches or visuals, can you create the CAD for me? So here we have an in-house CAD team, so depending on the design and complexity of the sketches, we can certainly offer that service to you. We do recommend that you collaborate with a CAD designer directly to allow you to make adjustments with the CAD designer yourself and to prevent any delays from back and forth communication. Once the design is finalized, then we can officially review and provide estimated quotes. And to be honest, so many of our designers who don't know how to create CADs themselves do form a strong relationship with their CAD designer and continue to work with them for years, just because I find that they form a good, strong relationship, and the CAD designer, after working with my client for a while, understands how they think and what they're trying to achieve when it comes to designing the next jewelry collection. But either way, we can definitely offer that support to you on creating the CADs too. What if I send you a finalized STL file that I had made and there are minor changes that need to be amended to make it suitable for production? Are you able to amend the file on your end? Yes, you can. So you can either ask the original CAD designer that you worked with to apply the changes, or we can do this on our end for an additional fee. Roughly for our prices, this can be anything from £5 to £30, depending on the complexity of the changes. Once we review the designs and we believe we can produce them, can we provide a quotation to produce each design? And how accurate is the quotation? So for us, it's based on the weight of the item and our estimate on the production times to make the piece. The quotation that we provide in that initial correspondence, in other words, before we make the actual sample, is pretty much close to accurate. And over the years, we've definitely improved our process in working out the estimated prices for our jewelry designer customers. I don't know of how other manufacturers can provide an exact price without making a sample first, but for us, the only real way to work out the accurate price is by actually making that jewelry piece. What can I do to help you calculate an accurate price? The weight of the metal for each design is important, like I said, so some customers, especially those who are silversmiths or those who are already an established brand, will probably already know the final weight of their design. So if you have that information, please let me know, as it'll only help us provide more accuracy when it comes to working out the price. For those who do not know the weight, that's totally fine. Our skilled development team's able to work it out as long as we have as much specification from you. What do I mean by specification? We need to know all the measurements of the designs from you as possible, so thickness, width and height, but also the specs where it may involve stone setting, inlay or enameling, plating, lasering of your logo, chains with the pendants, etc. There is more information on all of this on the Thai Design website, and we also did a video last year on textures, so please check any of those out. But yeah, it's super important for our development team to know all the specifications that you need for all your designs in order for us to work out close to accurate prices. Okay, next question. Once I approve the estimated prices, what next? Do I have to pay a deposit for you to start making my sample designs? The answer is yes, we do require what we call a development deposit before we start producing the samples. Due to our growth over the last few years and increased volume of customers and new designs coming our way, this development deposit is a fixed deposit that will be used to deduct the charges of new designs as well as any changes made to old designs. As of right now, 2025, the development deposit is approximately £1,500. And what's also good about the deposit is that customers can continue to use this as a fund pot and deduct future development charges of their new designs from it. If the development costs exceed the deposit amount, an invoice for the outstanding balance will be issued. The remaining balance will be used for all new future design developments, so the fund can always be in use, if that makes sense, and your account manager will keep you updated on how much is left into your fund pot. What is the breakdown of costs for each step in the development process, such as CAD, 3D prints, molds, and samples? Depending again on the complexity of the jewellery designs, typically you're looking about £30 to £45 for each CAD design to be made for my in-house CAD team. Approximately £25 I'd say for 3D print, which we print in-house, and around £20 per design for the mold. So these are your one-off fixed costs. And with regards to samples, take note that we have to make 2 samples of each design. One is sent to you for keeping and the other one is left here as reference for when we produce the order. So yes, that's how we charge for the development of the designs. What about any unused deposit funds? As the name says it is a deposit and non-refundable. So should, let's say, the partnership discontinues or you decide not to design any further new designs, you won't be credited back for any remaining funds. So thank you so much for watching this first part on sample development. I'm going to shoot another video, so watch out for the second part and we'll continue finishing all the Q&A for sample development. Until then, thank you so much for watching and for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the second part. Thanks again. Bye.